This woman covered in leg hair was actually the legendary queen of ancient Greece, while the figure whispering beside her was the jinn. Xia is a natural sciences professor. On this day, she was invited to deliver a lecture here. After the lecture concluded, Xia arrived at an antique shop. She inquired with the shopkeeper about this peculiar bottle. The shopkeeper didn't understand what it was either. She purchased it and brought it back to her hotel to clean. A jinn emerged from the bottle. It extended its hand toward the bookshelf and computer, rapidly mastering the language and conversing with Xia. 3 millennia ago, the jinn and the queen were lovers. A sorcerer from a merchant caravan used a bizarre lute to enchant the queen. The man sweet-talked his way into the queen's trust. While they were intimate, the man discovered the jinn spying nearby. He sealed the jinn inside a copper bottle and hurled it out the window. A giant eagle snatched it and dropped it into the sea. 2,000 years later, the bottle was again hauled up by a fisherman, but was discarded like a stone. After an unknown period, workers used it to patch a gap in the city wall. Then dynasties rose and fell, and it endured the baptism of war. A young maidservant climbed the city wall to secretly observe the prince. This granted him a chance to see daylight again. The maidservant knocked the mud off it. An enormous shadow loomed over her. The maidservant looked up and instantly fainted from terror. When the maidservant awoke, she made her first wish. She wished for the prince to fall in love with her. Thus, her first wish was fulfilled. They also concealed the golden bottle beneath a floor tile. Yet within the palace, undercurrents seethed. Consorts vied for favor by any means necessary. The maidservant soon made her second wish, to bear the prince an heir. The benevolent king immersed himself in poetry daily. This provoked discontent among the ministers. They prepared to stage a coup before the prince's eyes, but the king overheard them. In a fury, he made a ruthless decision. He summoned the prince before him and strangled him to death with a bowstring. The jinn informed the maidservant of this, urging her to make her third wish immediately. Overwhelmed, she couldn't accept it. She fled alone into a tunnel, only to be captured by assassins and thrown into the sea. The jinn attempted to rescue her, but was blocked by a demon. After the demon vanished, the girl had already drowned, and the jinn was sealed away once more. He roamed the palace daily, trying to draw attention, but people simply couldn't see him. Years later, a young boy wandered alone into the abandoned bathhouse. His gaze fixed on a floor tile. He called his younger brother, intending to pry open the stone together, but their mother stormed in and took both boys away. The jinn missed this opportunity. That sword-wielding boy later ascended the throne. Yet he was inherently cruel, bloodthirsty, and warlike. During an expedition, he was surrounded by enemy forces. His mother received this news, assuming the king had perished in battle. To preserve the royal family's honor, she crowned her younger son. She constructed an opulent chamber, locking her younger son inside with several women. As long as he remained in that room, his mother would indulge his every demand. Unexpectedly, the king returned. He grew increasingly bloodthirsty. Upon re-entering the palace, he initiated a purge, executing all ministers who supported his brother, and reclaimed the throne. He resolved to dispose of his useless brother. When he saw his brother's condition, he felt only revulsion. With no further wars to wage, he drowned himself in alcohol daily, growing gaunt and frail, until one day he recalled that childhood stone slab, but could no longer even open its door. After the king's death, his obese brother was reinstated by their mother. A consort accidentally discovered the copper bottle, but in terror, cast it back into the sea. He begged Xia to make 3 wishes, so he might break the curse. Yet the woman distrusted this jinn, for when she discovered him, it was a glass bottle, not copper. So he recounted another story. A young girl was bought by a tycoon as a concubine, caged like a canary in an attic. A servant gutting fish found the copper bottle inside its belly. The tycoon gifted it to the woman to curry favor. After the tycoon departed, she pried open the bottle's seal. The jinn appeared again, as always. He urged her to make 3 wishes, but unlike others, she showed no haste, instead showcasing her inventions. The woman made her first wish. She wished to acquire all knowledge to enrich herself. So the jinn brought her countless books, dissolved them into liquid, condensed it into a bottle. Drinking this liquid would absorb the book's knowledge. As time passed, affection grew between them. While the woman slept, the jinn flew afar, later sharing his travels with her. Yet he couldn't grant her freedom, so she made her second wish, to become sleepless and tireless like the jinn, maximizing her mental capacity to master infinite knowledge. But knowing too much became a heavier shackle for this captive woman. She prepared to make her third wish, but the jinn stopped her. His restraint enraged her. She felt a imprisoner like the tycoon. In fury, she made her third wish. She had the spirit seal her away, that all prior events were but a dream. After magic shimmered, the woman forgot everything. Xia thought of herself, solitary since childhood. She craved pure love, truthful and transcending life and death. So she made her first wish, to lonely souls united, a sacred covenant sealed by incantations. Xia brought the jinn home, and thenceforth they lived in bliss. Sealed for millennia, humanity had undergone tremendous changes. He slipped into hospitals, watching surgeons enter patients' skulls to stop massive hemorrhages. He observed quantum colliders probing physics' essence. He trailed radio telescopes, listening to the distant cosmos. These innovations made the jinn reevaluate humanity. One day after work, Xia called for her lover as usual, but he seemed absent, only in the basement. Did she find the jinn slumped on the floor? He insisted he was fine. Then Xia remembered jinn are electromagnetic beings, and modern society's magnetic structure was incompatible with his survival. So she made her second wish, for him to return to his rightful realm. Xia savored their final embrace. She sealed his garments in storage and placed them in the basement. Resolved to embark on a new journey. Walking along the park path, she suddenly halted. She sensed a familiar presence drawing near. As she turned her head, there before her eyes was that familiar figure.